Here is how you form the past simple. You simply add ed to your verb. For example, walk becomes walked. Talk becomes talked. Want becomes wanted. And play becomes played. Many verbs require spelling changes when you add ed, and here are the rules. If the verb already ends in e, you just add d. For example, like ends in an e, so you just add d to get liked. If the verb ends in a consonant plus y, you change the y to I and then add ed. For example, study that ends in a consonant, d, and y, so we change it to be studied with ied. If the verb ends with a vowel plus a consonant, double the last consonant and add ed. Stop becomes stopped. So O is a vowel, P is a consonant, therefore we add another P and then ed. Number 4, but if the verb ends in W, X, or Y, do not double the consonant. For example, we have play, A is a vowel, Y is a consonant, however, we don't double the Y, so we simply have played. However, many verbs have irregular past tense forms. Also, unfortunately, there are no patterns to help you determine if a verb is irregular in the past simple, which means you simply have to memorize. So the past simple requires a lot of memorization to know the correct form of each verb. We need to also talk about the special case of to be, the most important verb in English, but that has many special rules, including in the past simple. So to be has just 2 past simple conjugations, was and were. I was, you were, he, she, it was, we were, and they were. So you have to remember that it's I was and he, she, it was, and then for all of the others it is were. You were, we were, they were. All other irregular past simple verbs have just 1 past simple conjugation. So you just have to memorize 1 conjugation for all of the irregular past simple verbs. So that thankfully makes your life a little bit easier. For example, to have is had in the past simple, and it's I had, you had, he, she, it had, we had, and they had. It's had for all of them. So you just have to remember had. And it's the same for to do, which becomes did. We have I did, you did, he, she, it did, we did, and they did. And the same for to go, which becomes went. I went, you went, he, she, it went, we went, and they went. So I've put together a list in a PDF of the most common and useful irregular past tense verbs, and you can check that out down below. You should memorize that list to start, but then each time you encounter a verb that you would like to know, you should memorize its past tense form. That way you can use it correctly.